Welcome back to the NAO show. It's week 15. We find out if you're legal or not, or you're going to get deported. Welcome back. It is Marky Mark and Michael all in the house. How we doing, guys?
Doing great.
Doing okay.
Now tell me what you really feel. You guys both got knocked out of the championship. And the worst person in our league may or may not have won. We'll get to that. All right, Marky Mark, kick us off, bud.
All right. Yeah, we're going to run down the scores and we're going to play a little game called Legal or Not as we go through. So we're going to start off with the Ho-Hum Bowl, which was the Skippy Dogs going up against the Carsonists, a score of 145 to 110 for the Skippy Dogs. So, Sean, you guys were both consistent over the 2 weeks, but Skippy was just consistently better. What can you say about all that?
Well, in the off season, I was adopted and I actually had red hair and I got beat like a redheaded stepchild for the last 2 weeks. Good job, Skippy.
King Henry there, right?
Yeah.
That was pretty much it.
Well, it's all he needs. King Henry in December is pretty much good for 21, 22 points plus every week.
Yeah. What'd you think about that one, Mike?
Yeah, that's a tough one for you, Sean. But I mean, Skippy put up the second most points in the league too, so he had a week, that's for sure.
Yeah.
We said Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry can't go off, and they did.
I had a pretty bad week with injuries too. Ebron only had one target before he got taken off the field, and CEH has a high ankle sprain with a hip sprain now, and he only played 3/4 of the game. So, but nothing to take away from Skippy's win. He put up a good few points.
All right, so now we'll get to our game. I need to ask you guys, was Sean's roster legal or not?
Hey,
All
I
right.
can follow the rules.
All right, and how about Skippy? Was his roster legal or not?
Yeah.
All right,
Hey,
good start.
We're doing
Good start. We're on a roll. Okay, let's go to our next score here, and that would be in the bottom four consolation. The championship of the first pick. I don't know what we're going to call it. I guess we're going to try to name all these bowls, but
runner-up bowl for time.
Yeah, the runner-up bowl. So in the 3 and 4 match, it was Silly Biscuits 118, Real Slim Brady 76. And so Josh makes a clean sweep of Dylan on the season. Mike, any observations on that matchup?
Yeah, that was a fun, clean sweep. That's 3 wins on the season, all against Silly. It's kind of fun, but I think the big story coming out of that is Hill's quarterback situation seems to have improved here at the end of the year and potentially going into next year.
Yeah.
Not only does it looks like Jalen Hurts is going to start the rest of the year, and Carson Wentz, I don't know if you saw, came out and said he does not want to be a backup. So a 2021 quarterback controversy. So we'll see what happens. He has both of them, so he could end up with 2 starters next year on 2 different teams.
Yeah, I still think Wentz can be good. Just no line there, and he, I guess, obviously doesn't have the mobility as Hurts, so he was just a sitting duck, poor guy.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Sean?
He needs to get out of Philly, get out of Nick Foles' shadow a little bit. That's still looming there, I think, for him.
Yeah.
I think that's a great point that Hurts is he had a great week, but we've all seen rookie quarterbacks come out real early, and they don't have any defensive coordinators, don't have any tape on them. And once they get some good tape on them, they just turn into something else. Oh, wait, this is the NFL. I have to be good every week, not 2 weeks out of the year.
That's true. That's true.
I got a question for y'all being Dallas fans.
Yes, sir. We mean Dallas fans.
Dallas fans.
You mean the boys? Go ahead.
If you said America's team, I would get off this right now. But DB Lamb, does he hurt or benefit Amari Cooper?
I don't think really. I don't think I don't think it's either way. I think Cooper is Cooper, and CD is a kind of a different type of receiver. I think they complement one another and make it tough for defenses. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I think they kind of complement each other more than anything. You saw the first, what was it, 3 full games with Dak, which is what you hope the offense looks like long term. They were both sustainable together.
Yeah.
It was actually Gallup that was the odd man out with Dak in there.
Yeah, I think he hurt Gallup a little bit because they started making Gallup run these long routes. So his A dot was up around 17 yards. So he made him kind of a boomer bust guy because you don't always have time to throw a 17-yard route. And, it's a lot of times not going to throw to that guy. You're going to throw underneath when you got guys like CD and Coop there. So,
well, the reason I asked is because Hill, he played both of them. CeeDee Lamb got 17 points with 5 receptions. Amari Cooper did not have even 1 reception. He had -7 yards for 2 carries at a wide receiver position.
Yeah, that's, to me, Coop, he has too many games like that. That's why he's, when he booms, he's great. And when he busts, it's like that. And that's why I wasn't crazy about drafting him in redraft. But he's a great player, great route runner. He just seems to disappear in games,
Mm-hmm. He did at the end of last year too.
Yeah. Well, let's get back to our game. So we've got a couple of rosters to check here. So the real Slim Brady, legal or not?
Yay!
Here we go.
All right. And how about silly spicy biscuits, legal or not?
Ooh. Yep.
Man, we almost went bad for that one.
We're on a roll. All right, let's go on to So in the consolation round, the 1-2 match had the underdogs defeating Frank's Beauties 142 to 123. So Mike, not a bad week for you, but you hit the underdogs on a good week for them.
Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts on that?
Well, the thing that hurt me the most was probably that Tim Patrick there with his 2.9 and hit that not being Michael Thomas. Otherwise, I liked my lineup. I got some solid flex play. That's sort of what I've been waiting for all season. But yeah, that last minute Michael Thomas benching in Zeke was a little last minute too, actually. Not that Zeke's been performing his normal self, but some big name last minute roster changes, and I couldn't come up with it. But talk about getting the clean sweep. That's 0-3 for me against the underdogs this year.
Oh, well.
So
I heard a rumor someone suggested that you play Tyron Johnson from the Chargers.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Someone might have suggested that and said, hey, Keenan might not be a good go. And yeah, it's just a rumor that I heard. So
if I remember the rumor right,
All hearsay.
if it was over J.D. McKissick, if I remember the rumor right.
Well, true. And McKissick turned out all right, didn't he? Yeah.
I did think about that when they announced Alex Smith was not starting, and then
And
McKissick was going to be there still. And I'm like, well, there we go.
And I probably would have played Tim Patrick over Johnson at the time. But any thoughts on that one, Sean?
Well, I do have a few thoughts, amazingly enough. AB, he finally has his breakout week. I should have known because I dropped him in another league. So
Yeah.
he was bound to go off. My bad, Mike.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that Rashad Higgins?
Yeah, Rashard, I think it is. Rashard Higgins.
26 years old. He's kind of coming into his own with OBJ. Sorry, Mike. Being out.
The segment sucks.
He's coming through. He could be a wide receiver 3 when OBJ comes back, and he has some solid hands. He's definitely showing that he can handle some target share, huh?
Yeah, I don't know what
he
the
only did have 9.6 points, but he did get only 5 targets. So if they target him a little more, I know it's a run first team, but if they target him a little more, he could be pretty dangerous moving forward as a flex spot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if I don't know the contract situation, but I wonder if they'll bring OBJ back or not. I think seems like they're better off without him at this point.
Yeah, it really does.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, I hate it. I mean, that's and I hate that OBJ got hurt on the kind of play that he did, but maybe he'd be better off somewhere else too. But yeah, Rashard Higgins has been solid. All right, so let's get back to our game. We got 2 more rosters to go over here. The underdogs, legal or not?
Nice job.
Hey.
Nice
We
job.
are 5 for 5. Okay, that brings us to Frank's Beauties, legal or not?
I'm nervous.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Oh,
Hey, we just got us slid right in there.
yeah. There was a bell. I heard the bell. It was faint, but I heard it. All right, we are on a roll, 6 in a row.
6
Okay.
4 6.
In the next matchup in the playoff round, the consolation round of the playoffs, the bronze match, we had the Baba O'Reillys, 128. Defenses wins championships, 121. So not only did I beat Aaron for the first time this season, I actually scored more than about 60 points, kind of doubled up on that. It was nice to finish out with a decent total after 3-4 weeks of futility there. So, and it really didn't look like I had a chance with, I had Deontay Monday going up against Tyler Boyd and the Steelers defense. But of course we know that Tyler got knocked out early and the Bengals decided to show up for a change and kept the Pittsburgh defense from going off. So Sean, you got any more, anything else to add to that?
I think you hit it right there on the head. I think if Tyler Boyd plays that game with how they felt unstoppable on Monday night against Pittsburgh. I mean, no one thought that was even going to be that close. And they came out with the W. I think if Tyler Boyd plays that game, you are not winning.
Yeah, I mean, he could have been just a touchdown from Tyler could have put him over the top, maybe, you know. What do you think, Mike?
I think Juju needs to stop filming TikToks on other teams' logos. Maybe. But
yeah,
like we were saying for the last few weeks when you're only scoring 60, you just need your touchdowns back, and here they are, and 127 points.
yeah, it was a lot better day listening to the phone go off as opposed to dead silence and like keep checking it to see if it's turned on or not. Yeah, it was close, and that's one of those. I got a little lucky because it didn't look good for me at all. So
Yeah, 37 from Josh Allen is
yeah,
nice to get 33 from Kyler Murray again.
Yeah. That made a big difference for me in this one. Standards didn't go off like he did the week before, but that waiver wire pickup and Salvon Ahmed,
21 points, no big deal.
Wow, I snatched him up and got him over the underdogs, which was kind of nice because they've been the waiver wire kings.
Whoa. We're giving him too much credit. All
nice
right.
I mean, every time you look up on waiver day, they're there getting somebody or dropping somebody. So it was nice to get one over them.
It's still, some of it misses you, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, let's get back to our game. It's been fun so far. Let's see. The Baba O'Reillys, legal or not?
Hey, good job.
And our buddy Aaron with defenses wins championships, legal or not?
Hey, all right.
We are on a roll, guys. That is something. That is something. All right, let's get to the championship game. We had Tua Time defeating Goofy Jace, 167 to 136. So, Sean, you should be happy to know the Rodgers trade didn't hurt Goofy as much as his own QB did in Russell Wilson. So maybe you can stop tilting about that. I don't know. What do you think?
No.
Gonna still,
for as long as this dynasty is alive, I will tilt about that trade.
Can't let it go, huh?
I will never let it go.
Rodgers will be retired 2 years. You'll still be talking about it.
Yep. I do have a couple comments about this matchup.
All right.
I got to give out an award. Most points on the IR to Drew Breezy, throwing up 19 points on the IR slot. Man, that's a bold move.
Didn't think that was possible.
More than any starting quarterback scored.
That's right. I didn't know you could score points on the IR slot, but that was just me.
Mike, any thoughts on the matchup there?
It was a little soon or sudden that they activated Drew Brees, though, wasn't it? Like it was only what, Thursday we knew about it, or Wednesday night?
Thursday's pretty dead at the end, like not a lot of people are looking at they already got their thing set,
Mm-hmm. And Wednesday, then bam, Sunday. That's how the week works.
That's how it works.
But no, I think actually what I was thinking about was last week you and I went down matchup by matchup, and it actually, I'm kind of doing it quick in my head. We caught some of them. We caught some of them, but it really came down to those running backs on Ian's side. They scored some monster points.
How about Montgomery? He has been a fantasy diamond in the rough at the beginning of the year. You pick him up, stash him away, and then right before the finals, he's putting up 20 plus points for you. Golly, where's he been all year?
Yeah, the last 4 weeks he scored at least 22 points. Yeah.
Yeah, anybody that had patience and held on to him is happy now. Imagine all the ones that dropped him that are kicking themselves too. Wow. Yeah, so we got our first champion in Ian, and congratulations to him, and congratulations to Goofy Jace for making it in there and putting up a good amount there too. So let's get back to our game, though. It's been so much fun. We got 2 more to go here. So, Goofy Jace, legal or not?
Woo!
We're gonna
9 in a row. 9 in a row. All right, let's see if we can make a clean sweep here. Make it 10 in a row. 2 a time. Legal or not? Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Oh no.
Come on.
No,
come on, Ian.
say it isn't so. Say it isn't so. What do we got? What do we got? We said he's not legal. So what was
We got an asterisk. That's what we got.
Big ol'
We got a
asterisk.
big old asterisk. That's what we got to expect from a New England fan.
Oh my gosh. Are you guys really telling me that he did not have a legal roster? What was the deal?
Oh, let me show you, Marky Mark.
Oh,
Let me show you.
okay.
Look at this.
Oh.
That is 7, count them, 7 IRs on the IR list.
7 IR.
How many
does
IR
one-
people are we allowed to have?
Mike, we just went over this, didn't we? How many IR are we supposed to have?
1, 2, 3, 4.
4. Oh, he was
Yeah.
so close.
That's right. And the
off
rest,
Three.
the rest were for COVID. You know what I'm wondering? Ian's a Brit. I'm wondering if he did like the metric conversion.
Yeah.
So maybe like 4 standard players equals like, well, I think it's like 7.2 metric players. So
That's
at least
proper counting right there.
At least he didn't round up. He could have rounded up and put 8 on there, but he was, he kept it at 7. Did the metric conversion. I think maybe that's what happened. What do you think, Mike?
It sounds about right to me. 7.2 is what I got actually. I'm converting. So
It sounds
Okay.
like he needs another cup of tea in the morning to figure out how to count to 4.
I think he should go back to a variation of his former name. We're going to call him Keen to cook the books. Yeah.
He'll look real nice next to his asterisks on the championship.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we need to take a league vote and see if we need to vacate that championship. Maybe Goofy's the actual champ,
Well,
I
he's
don't know. The way Ian talks,
so
though,
much-
I'm sure he already bought himself a ring or something. Who knows?
man, that'd be the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Oh man.
I don't
Well,
know. If we put it to a vote, Ian's had some pretty good luck with votes in this league. Let me tell you. Are we remembering that?
yeah, I think you might be remembering it wrong, but
Oh, all right. Me,
uh,
wrong, who cares?
well, well. I don't think it had anything to do with them winning the matchup. So, and getting just to be serious for one moment, I just want to apologize to some of the other owners or managers that I made take guys off of their IR. Once I turned my back and thought everything was fine, one slipped by on me. So I'll just apologize to any guys that thinks I was getting on them and didn't get on Ian. So, but it is what it is at this point. So
We still love you, Marky Mark. You're doing
yeah. Now, I've looked at it when I made the announcement for, hey, make sure it's 4 and anything else for COVID is fine. And then, I was checking 2-3 weeks in a row. Everybody was good. I thought we had it down. So Ian snuck one in on me there.
Yeah, those sly Brits trying to pull everything they can.
You got to watch him, man. You got to watch him. All right. Well, let's get on to, let's talk about the draft order now that it's
draft.
Yeah, now that it's finalized too. So I just want to remind everybody, it's not a snake draft. The rookie drafts are normally linear. This season's rookie draft being a snake draft, it was like the startup deal.
No.
Moving forward, it's linear. So that means you pick the same place in each round. That's how dynasty rookie drafts work. Just want to make sure everybody's squared away on that. I hope nobody had any other expectations there. And as we go down the draft order, we're just going to talk about each manager's roster a little bit and look ahead some. So picking first is the underdogs. That's Brandon and Evan. They earned the number 1 pick by winning the consolation rounds. So Sean, let's start it off on their roster. What do you think?
Well, good job to these underdogs. I mean, they have the first and second picks in the 2021 draft. I think that'll definitely help them out. They do have 3 picks, by the way. I think they might use those first 2 picks as guys that are trying to get and move that third one, maybe get somebody that they can implement right away. That's my idea on them.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think they're picking first and they finished in the bottom 4 in the league, but they scored one of the highest points for in the entire league. So they're a dangerous team, and it's even more dangerous going into next year with that first and second. So I kind of agree. I think they'll load up a little bit more and maybe try to sell some of those.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good move. I'd keep 1 and 2 for sure to get the top 2 guys in the draft, but yeah, that number 5 may be up for grabs. It's hard to say. We'll have to see, what things are looking like when it gets closer to the draft, which will be after the real draft. We'll do our draft right after the real draft. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they do. Well, the next second pick is going to go to Frank's Beauties. Mike, you had a pretty good run down through the bottom 4 yourself and got the second pick. They've got your first rounder, but you'll be picking number 12 and 22. Not bad picks there. So Sean, let's you and I talk about what we think for Mike's roster. You go first.
Well, if there's a roster I know better than my own, it's Michael's roster. Be honest, I think there's gonna be a lot of moves in the off season. Mike, as you know, you got the Herb. Move him.
Herbie fully loaded.
Herbie fully loaded. Yes. Nickname.
That's better. I was going to say peaches and herbs, so it's better than mine. So guys probably don't even know peaches and herbs.
Nope, you're just showing your age. And
yeah.
Back to the show.
Like I really need to show my age.
I honestly can't say what's going to happen because it all depends on how Mike, not to talk about him like he's not here, but how you feel about your lineup. Obviously, you got some great wide receivers coming up, Claypool and unfortunately, Ruggs he's on the COVID list, whatever. He hasn't really helped you all that much this year. But moving forward, it definitely shows that Carr's is out there slinging the gun. And if Mariota has to come in, he's going to sling the ball even more. So I think you have a lot of really good moves you could make, but you could also just sit on that number 2 pick and hope for the best. I mean, let me remind everybody, Eckler was hurt for most of this season. I'm just saying.
I never forget.
Yeah, he definitely dealt with some injuries. Maybe a couple of guys that are getting in the twilight of the career. They think about Zeke and Michael Thomas. They probably still got some good games left in them, but if those guys can stay healthy and get back up to where they were last year, yeah, could be some good things. Got some good youth in there. Probably can. Yeah, with Herbert, I'd probably be trying to make a move to somebody who's quarterback hungry, All right. So picking third will be Silly Spicy Biscuits. That's Josh. Got the number 3 pick. I think, I think Josh definitely, he's got some pieces there. He had a lot of injury troubles. He's got some pieces there, but he probably needs to build a little bit. Mike, what are your observations on his roster?
I think, well, like we've said before, don't count someone like Josh out. I haven't played with him in fantasy before, obviously, but, a few of the guys have. And it sounds like he's not going to overreact on anything. I don't think he'll make any rash moves. I think you go down in his injured reserve. He's got some big names down there, Marlon Mack, Barkley, Cortland Sutton. I don't think he'll overreact. I don't think he'll make any bad moves. I think he's looking better than what his record indicates at 2-11, but
yeah,
in terms of buying and selling, I guess that's a tough one. If it were me, I'd probably want to sit a little bit. I'd feel a little bit more comfortable than being last place in the league. But
yeah, he likes to trade. I'm sure he's going to be getting offers out there. What do you think, Sean?
Speaking of trades, he's got the number 1 pick, but it's Steely's or Tua times number 1 pick, which will be the last pick in the first round.
Yeah, number 10.
I wouldn't be shocked if he tries to move that and maybe an up-and-coming guy to move up in the first round to maybe a guy that has more than 1 draft pick, like defenses win championships or the underdogs. I mean, he could move that pick and a guy that has good upside and move up and get a higher draft pick if need be.
Yeah, there's somebody there he likes. That's the kind of thing I'm sure we would see from him. Definitely. All right, let's move on to picking number 4, the real Slim Brady, which is Dylan. And right at the trade deadline, if you guys remember, I traded him back his first round pick. So he's got the number 4 pick in the rookie draft. I think he's got a pretty solid roster himself. And we talked about the many times that he just couldn't quite get the right starting lineup in there. But I think with this picking, he'll have 4 and 14, 2 guys in the top 15. That's going to be pretty good for him. If he's still got a second, I'm not sure right now if he's got that. He does have it. So yeah, he could add a couple of good pieces to what's already a good roster. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, like you said, I think he's got a pretty good roster. It'd be interesting to see what his potential points were for the season because, like we pointed out a few times, he left a lot on his bench. If he could have gotten some of those weeks right, how much would that have mattered? But yeah, I think he's got a great lineup going forward, and he has more than just his own pick in the second. He actually has a pretty strong beginning of the draft. He's got his own first, his own second, but then he also has 2 more second-round picks this year.
Wow.
So he got 4 in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, that was good wheeling and dealing by him. What do you think, Sean?
Yeah, he has 9 total picks in next year's draft. I mean, obviously you can't have all those rookies, but he can make some moves. There are definitely pieces to make moves, move up.
Yeah, I mean, he could trade some away. Depends on what who he's willing to drop and not. I'm sure he's got room on the taxi a little bit, but that's a lot of picks to get on a roster. So maybe he ends up trading. Maybe he's going to be a seller of picks. So Let me write this down. Call Dylan. Okay. So, yeah, I'm not looking so good on picks. We'll get to me down the line here, but we'll move on to picking number 5. Skippy Dogs earned the number 5 pick with his 2-week total over Carsonus. So, yeah, Mike picking right there in the middle. What do you think? Other Mike, what do you think, Mike? We'll call him Skippy. I'll call you Mike.
Actually, I think he might have the only just clean draft next year. He's got his own first, second, third, fourth, and fifth.
Okay.
I could see him sitting on most of those. I don't know if he's going to make too many draft day moves in terms of picks because he's got a little bit of age showing on his lineup. I think he'll want to try to stay in the draft and maybe get a little bit younger. I don't think any of these. Well, maybe Ty is probably. Well, he actually did okay at some points this season, but is he going to be a guy that can be effective? Again next year. But I think he's going to be looking to get younger quick.
Yeah, I think so. He's got one of the older rosters. He's definitely got some guys he can cycle through and bring in those 5 picks. So, any thoughts, Sean?
To do something because he needs to fill that RB2 spot. He's got King Henry, but I think he wanted Mark Ingram to be in there, and Mark Ingram hasn't been the Mark Ingram of old. He needs to either move up in the first round because as we are kind of looking forward, there isn't a very good running back core coming in to the NFL this year, but he definitely needs to do something at the running back position.
Yeah. Well, he's got a few picks to do it with, so see what he does here. So picking 6 is going to be our buddy Sean with the Carsonists. Sean, off the top of my head, I feel like you got a good mix of older and younger guys. You got a solid roster there. I don't know that you need to do a whole lot to improve that, but and I think you've traded away some of your picks. Mike, you looking at his roster to see what picks he's got there?
Well, as much as Sean knows mine, I know his pretty well too.
Yeah.
Like we said, the underdogs have his first round pick. But he actually has my 3rd round pick, which is going to turn, I ended up with the 2nd, so it should be pretty good for him there. But like you said, I agree. I think he's got a pretty solid lineup. I think he's got a decent mixture of some young guys. Obviously, Justin Jefferson nailed that in the draft last year.
Yes, sir.
The trade for Clyde turned out to be pretty good for you. But I know Sean likes to trade, so we'll see if he can.
I got a 2nd round pick. I could fill a hole in a 2nd round pick, maybe.
Yeah,
I just gotta hit it again on Justin Jefferson,
Yeah, that's one of the picks of the draft, rookie draft, as far as I'm concerned. All right, moving on. We've got picking number 7. Defenses win championships. That's our buddy Aaron. Sean, tell us about Aaron. He's got 3 first-round picks, I think you said, right?
This guy is going to be dangerous. Once this team got healthy, no one could stop him. Everybody didn't want to play him in the playoffs. And he's got 3 first-round picks. All of them in the back half of the first round? Well, no. He's got Jay Hill's first-round pick. That's early in the first round.
That's pick 3.
This guy could make some major moves, and I think we might have another runner for the championship other than myself.
Yeah, he could be a little scary. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I agree. I think going into next season, some way too early before the draft power ranking kind of thing. I think you got to put defenses win championships pretty high on that list.
Yeah.
We all saw what he could do with a pretty loaded roster. And like Sean said, he's got 3 picks, so I'm sure he'll keep some, but I could see him trading for some too.
Only problem is he might have to drop a couple of those defenses to fit his new guys in there. All right, moving on to pick number 8 in the draft is the Baba O'Reillys. And I know I don't have anything in the first and second round. I might be a buyer. What do you guys think as you look at my roster and my picks?
Well, if I could say anything, I think if you move your picks for at least one more guy, you could be pretty dangerous with a CMC all year. I mean, if CMC averages 30 points a game every week, it's going to be very difficult to beat.
Yeah, I sure would like to get him back and see how it goes for a full season. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I think that's the big hole in your lineup is running back possibly. And obviously you don't need to fill it in the draft because you got CMC. I think he'll come back. I think of the three of us, you might have had the best luck on the waiver wire and picking up some guys who've done pretty well with that all season. I think like you said, you might be a buyer going into the draft, but I think you got a pretty solid lineup.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting a little bit higher pick than the third round, but we'll see how it goes. All right, we got to finish up quick, guys. So Goofy Jace is picking 9th. That's our buddy Jason. Sean, what do you think about Jason's roster?
I think it's pretty much set it and forget it. He might have to improve that tight end position, but other than that, he might have a couple flex spots that he might have to fill. But going into the draft, he's got a first round and 2 seconds, so he could definitely do that.
Yeah, he needs a little youth, so he can use those picks for himself, I think. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I think the only knock on his lineup is getting a little bit older. Keenan Allen in the Delmonico household is pretty rough, but I think he'll look to get a little younger. But like Sean said, I think even next year, a lot of his players are just set and forget still. So he's got some time to get younger.
Yeah. All right. And picking 10th is Tua time, our buddy Ian. But I'm thinking that maybe that could be his punishment. Maybe we'll vote on him just skipping the draft. He's got all those players stashed on IR. He can just filter them into the roster. He probably doesn't need to participate in the draft. Maybe we'll vote on that. Quick shot. Thoughts, Sean?
I second all that. Go ahead, Michael.
Thirds.
Oh, we saw thirds.
Yeah, he's got a good roster. So it'd be interesting to see what he does in the draft or what moves he makes in the off season here. So that's going to wrap it up. Kind of had to hurry through, but Sean, take us out of here, buddy.
Ian, you suck. Let me get the record button.